Good morning, good evening, good afternoon everybody. Again, second video of today, because no sooner had I uploaded that video than a spokesman for Prince Harry had said that it is his intention to appeal. His spokesman said, "The Duke is not asking for preferential treatment, but for a fair and lawful application of Ravek's own rules, assuring that he receives the same consideration as others in accordance with Ravek's own written policy." So they have said it is his intention to appeal. I would suggest there's nothing legal in this. This is a public PR statement. Surely he needs grounds for appeal or leave from the court to appeal. Don't be sucked in by this is, Harry's going to fight on. That is not necessarily the case. What's your take on it?
Wasting his time. Absolute wasting his time. He doesn't realise that he's out. Okay, he's down and he's out. For someone who had everything, he's blown the lot. He's blown it all. If you look back inside, you've only got to go back a few decades to David, the King Edward VIII. The moment his father died, George V, he was King of England. King of England, okay? And when he went in, he threw his teddy in the corner and flounced out saying, "No, I'm abdicating, how dare you, I want everything my way." And the moment he was gone, he will have regretted it for the rest of his life because they never let him back in. And don't forget, this man was the King of England. And he would have been the rightful King of England until he died, in the 70s, I think it was. But so Elizabeth would still have become Queen and it would have carried on as it is now. But the point is, he was out and that was it. Out, out, out. And Harry's just a spare prince. He's not even heir to the throne. Well, he is way down the line. What is he?
He's in the line.
Fifth in line. He's never going to make it.
He's in the line.
But this guy was the king and they treated him out. Goodbye.
Yeah.
So Harry's finished. There's no way he's getting back in. The best Harry can do is sponge a few quid, come begging with his begging bowl to his dad. Because his dad's a billionaire. His dad might toss him a few quid if he feels sorry for him. But there's no way. I don't think William will toss him a few quid.
I don't think
he might toss him a fist.
Yes.
He's out.
As I've said before, I'm no legal expert, but I think to appeal in any court, civil, criminal, whatever court, you have to have grounds.
Yeah. My dad's the king isn't grounds, okay? Princess Diana was my mother.
Yes. Yes. And some people in the comments in the previous video had said they thought he lost the case last year. No, what he lost last year was when he said, "I'll pay for security." He lost the right to pay for it last year. This today is he's lost, but he will still get security. So will Meghan and so will his family, his children. When they come to the UK under certain circumstances on a case-by-case basis.
I don't think he'd be coming very often, do you?
I would imagine he's going to move back to the UK quite soon.
Nah. Can't see it myself.
You and I really disagree on a lot of things.
I think if he does anything, he'll buy the Duke of Windsor's old house in the south of France, and they'll sit there plotting and
that
moaning.
belongs to the Al Fayed family, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But no. So the point of this video really is don't panic about the thought of Harry appealing this. It's going to cost a lot of money. I don't know what's going to happen with Home Office costs. Someone in the comments said that there was some sort of exemption they vaguely remember somebody talking about. So if anyone has any recollection of that, I'm not so sure. I think the British taxpayer are going to want the costs covered by Harry. This is just going to add to his financial woes. It just goes from bad to worse. There was also a comment from obviously a Harry supporter complaining of all the hatred in the comments on the last video. I've read almost every single one of the comments and I haven't seen an ounce of hatred. I've seen skips for joy, jubilation, great relief, a deep sense from people feeling they feel less downtrodden, less taken advantage of as taxpayers. That's what I saw. I certainly didn't see any hatred. There was a suggestion by one of the moronic sugars towards me on X that why would I worry when I'm on government benefits? What government benefits? Living here in Spain and holding down 3 jobs. I don't know what benefits they're talking about. And another one said, who cares what a convicted thief such as me says? I don't have a criminal record. I never have. I don't have any convictions for anything.
It's pointless to try and ration with a moron. That's what I say.
Well, they're sugars. They're sugars.
Reason
but it
with a moron.
does sort of explain the ramping up of attacks recently from the sugars, because I think Harry will have known this was going to go against him. He knew this was coming out. And I think that does explain some of that. I don't think Charles is going to bail him out at all.
I do.
I disagree.
I do. I think he will. I think he'll keep tossing him a few million here and there.
I don't. I think, if anything, Charles will have him on a very, very strict and minimalist allowance to keep his head above water, save the royal family the embarrassment of having Harry actually in the gutter, begging for pennies. I think he will be on a stipulation, on a contract, where if he messes up, the money either gets snipped, restricted or delayed.
The thought that occurred to me was when King Charles, I keep calling him Prince Charles, when King Charles finally kicks the bucket, which he will do one day, hopefully no time soon, he's going to leave Harry a shitload of money in his will, isn't he? And that will prop him up again and he'll be worse than ever.
But not necessarily, he might not.
Well, it's up to him, isn't it? He probably will.
But you don't know that.
Charlie's a billionaire, so I mean, he'd be unbearable, wouldn't he? I mean, I can see William not letting him back in the country, but he'll become unbearable out there. Goodness knows what he's going to fund with all that money.
We wonder what's been funded so far. But you don't know that for a fact. Again,
I don't, but
Charles could do the same as the Queen Mother, could do the same, I think, as Diana. There were trust funds controlled by other people, almost as if the beneficiary is a child who is incapable of making sensible decisions or keeping themselves out of hot water. I don't think you give Charles the credit that he deserves. I think you also dismiss that he will have access to some of the best advisors and lawyers in the land. And he's also got Camilla, who is not a stupid woman at all, very astute, very practical person. He's got other members of the family who are very practical. He's not a fool. He's not going to. I didn't
say he was a fool.
You make it sound like he's daft in the head, and he's just going to.
He's his father, isn't he? You know, there's very few fathers will not leave money to their children and grandchildren in a will, especially if they're billionaires.
So there are ways and ways of dealing with it, and I think there will be. I wouldn't mind betting he's been offered an allowance contract. He might even find himself living back in the UK somewhere like, forgive me, people of Milton Keynes, somewhere like Milton Keynes or somewhere in Bedfordshire.
He's deeply unpopular. He won't want to get booed everywhere he goes.
And then he'd just be an ordinary Joe going down to Aldi doing his shopping like the rest of us.
Yeah, but people will still boo him, won't they? They'll know who he is.
Some people won't. I don't know. I don't know. I think that's more for official occasions.
He'll probably be left enough money to buy his own troll farm in China.
Well, yes, troll farms. We might have some movement on that subject. I hope to bring you some news in the coming weeks. Or I might just go out there and call out the elephant in the room that's been there for the last few years that we
and
all know what's going on.
we've all been thinking.
And I might do. Stay tuned. In the meantime, don't panic about any appeals. All this statement of an intention to appeal by Harry's spokesperson is a PR exercise. It's saving egg, wiping egg off the face in front of the public. If he really meant it, he'd just instruct the lawyers and they'd be getting on with it behind the background. Wouldn't be much need to tell the public. As always, thank you.
And any appeal would fail anyway.
Oh yeah, I'm certain. Futile. Waste of time, waste of money. As always, thank you very much for listening and look forward to hearing your theories, thoughts and opinions on any appeal process that might be forthcoming.